How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with new brewery time. Technically not new brewery time. I've had one beer from these guys that I finished about a minute ago. That would be Hub City Brewing. It is their Bonfire. Yeah, this is a Scottish wee heavy. Very cool. Dig that. Dig when people do the wee heavies. Aged in brandy barrels, son. Good God. 9.8. Sub 10%. Brandy barrel aged wee heavy. My heart is aflame. Much like a bonfire. And you get a fucking pull tab. You get a motherfucking pull tab. You know how much I love pull tabs? I don't know if they actually help in the aging of the beer, but makes it easier getting inside the sucker. So, I don't know. I got some info from Gray. That's actually sent this off. His buddies mess with his brewery, or own. That's really disrespectful to say what mess with. And he sent me some info. I didn't want to read it. I just wanted to drink it. So I don't know what kind of brandy barrels it's in. I don't know anything about it other than I am going to drink the shit out of this beer, hopefully. And it's awesome. Label-wise, I dig it, you know. It's kind of, you know, the graphics and all that stuff are quite fine. It's kind of like that, kind of like stippled, kind of like 4-color, 5-color artwork kind of style. I dig it. But bonus points on the linen label, which absolutely hits like ASMR. Yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, so yeah, I dig that. And just the whole vibe in general. Pull tab, sub 10% brandy barrel, da-da-da. Now, that's a pretty light wee heavy. Wee heavy Scotch ales can kind of run from one end to the other as far as coloration goes, but this is a pretty light one. This is more of like a lesser shilling ale kind of color, especially when you're talking about it sitting in a brandy barrel for a while, which has probably gained a bit of color, oxidized a little bit in the actual barrel itself, and got a little bit darker. So that's pretty light. Yeah, looks like iced tea almost. Even from the head has this kind of khaki colored top to it that looks very much like iced tea. But yeah, let's get down on the nose. Not a ton there. I mean, there's a little bit of soft cherry notes. I can get that from wee heavies, but I can also get that from brandy. Not a huge barrel presence. Not a big, like, evaporative alcohol kind of to it. It's very soft, very gentle. Again, sub 10% is not a huge beer, but you throw in that combination of that brandy barrel. Now, I think he told me how long it sat in a barrel. I don't remember what he said, but it smells like something that hasn't sat a ton in the barrel. I could be wrong. But then again, brandy's not an overtly kind of aggressive alcohol too, so it might be less on a nose as far as aggressiveness goes. But we're just going to dive in. Cheers. That's nice. It's very nice. It's soft, man. This is a very soft beer. You actually get a little pop of soft brandy, base brandy, like cherry, kind of just soft brandy notes, a little bit of red fruitiness, a decent amount of oakiness in here. So I'm not getting any kind of barrel charriness, but there's a drying component in this that I can only attribute to kind of soft oak tannins. But again, it doesn't come off much as a wee heavy for me. It's very much like, and you talk about shilling ales, English shilling ales. It's pretty much, you know, the higher number of shillings, and the darker the beer is going to be. And it's more of like a mid-level kind of shilling ale kind of vibe, both from taste, look, and the whole thing, than a wee heavy. Your wee heavy is going to be your top of that rung. I forget the number that they reach when it eventually gets as in like 90 shilling, and then it becomes like a wee heavy or something like that. I forget the actual number, so someone from overseas is going to call me a fraud. But it comes off more like that, like a I don't mean mid-level as far as execution or flavor, but a lighter beer than what typically a wee heavy is. But that being said, I think it worked out in the long run, because I think if you do a bigger, denser, heavier beer here, I think it gets lost. I think it does get lost in that, or that brandy barrel gets lost. Let's put it that way. It's almost like, no, I doubt it, because they would say it on the label. It's almost, I'm getting like a, if you did a dark wee heavy and then kind of blended it, or you did a wee heavy and blended it with a fresh wee heavy kind of vibe from it, for how light it is, but that wouldn't be the case here either. I just think it's a lighter version of what a wee heavy typically is. in a soft spirit barrel. That gives very pretty notes on what is typically a heavy beer. I like this. I do. It's not blowing my doors off. It's not like King Should Have Fucked Mountain Hair on Fire stuff. I kind of thought it was going to be that because Wee Heavy, Brandy, I was like, oh man, this is going to get real. But there's a softness to it that I appreciate. And I like. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. I mean, you've had, like, for me, you know, one of the seminal kind of Wee Heavies I think about, or you know, that I kind of lean into Scotch ales. This Old Chub is kind of the one I think most people have had. That's a very good interpretation of that. It's more of a kind of softer, hazier version of it. There's also maltier, leaning towards kind of Imperial Porter, kind of Baltic Porter kind of range, kind of Wee Heavies. I think that would be more of your AleSmith kind of Wee Heavy. But if I strip the name, the Scotch ale / Wee Heavy thing from this, and kind of look at it as an English strong ale, okay? Not barley wine, not old ale, but a strong, higher number shilling ale. I think this reads a little bit better in my brain than thinking about it as a Wee Heavy beer. And I like it. There's nothing negative about the beer. There's no off flavor. There is a nice malt base to the beer that definitely comes off, like I said, like an English ale, along with that yeast. And then there is a soft bittering. I think that might be a little bit of a hop in combination with those oak tannins, kind of drying things out and propping up that bitterness. That works out really well in the beer. But everything here is very soft. It's not what you'd expect. When I think Wee Heavy, when I think Scotch ale, I think Spirit Barrel, I think of aggressiveness. I think of that 2x4 to the face. But what you're getting here, besides me spittling in that direction, is a pretty version of that beer, which is really kind of weird to think about. Like, I've never thought about a Scotch Wee Heavy or even English ales. Sure, there's pretty elements to it, but when I talk pretty, I talk light and nimble and fun and soft, those kind of things. And that's what I'm getting here. And it's kind of weird in a very, very cool way. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, it's not shabby at all. So let's talk about this beer. Is this one of the better barrel-aged beers I've had as of late? It's worthy of being a conversation. It's not rewriting the books when it comes to barrel-aged beer, but I think it's quite tasty. And that's something, at least for me. Value and availability, don't know. My boy Gray, who gave this to me, I probably mentioned at the beginning. Hopefully I did. Let me know how much this costs and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you ever want to know a mid-level, again, mid-level number-wise, not mid-level taste-wise. I gotta keep saying that because I don't know my numbers and I don't want to come off like an idiot. Like a shilling ale, if you want to know what the Brandy barrel-aged shilling ale is like. If you like shilling ales, if you like Wee Heavies, but you want something a little bit lighter, if you like kind of, you know, English cask ales, you want something slightly a bit heavier, but you wanted that added touch of a nice oak profile, a little bit of soft vanilla, which I didn't mention, but actually is there, and then that soft cherry note added to it. If you like that combination in beers, it'd be a really fun beer to try, honestly. And I'd be really curious to see how this ages. I'm not the biggest fan of long-haul aging barrel-aged beers, but I can see this turning into something cool in a year or two. Cooler in a year or two. That cool in a year or two insinuates it's not cool now. But yeah, fun beer. So there you go. A little bit of Hub City in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll post this at the same time I do their Hazy, which was sent to me by Gray also. So thank you very much, brother. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed our review down there. If you want to talk about it, Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massif. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Hub City right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.